Welcome to more with the Mac Interactive session. We're going to have some short demos. We're going to have some Q&A. We're even going to have some special guests stop by. So sit back, relax, get your notes and ask questions, and enjoy more with the Mac Interactive. Alright, welcome to more with the Mac Interactive. We're going to call this Tidbit Quick Hits. I'm going to not correct, but there's been a few changes to a few things that was mentioned in Monday's session. First of all, I don't know if this is true for Intel Macs, but I know for M1 Macs, the F4 key no longer activates the launch pad. So F1 and F2 are your screen brightness. And let's go through what the other ones are. Let's see.
Mission control.
So 3 is mission control.
Spaces, audio hijack.
I don't use that, so let's go. Let's number 4.
Spotlight
search.
Audio hijack. More with the finder. Desktop.
Alright, and
desktop.
F5 is
dictation. System dialog.
Dictation.
Do you want to
which
enable
I don't
dictation?
use, so I'm gonna.
Okay. And
so F5 is
when you
dictation.
dictate to help your about cancel. Enable dictation. Cancel. Okay. Okay. Not now. Finder.
Yep, not now. Alright, and F6 is, I think, the dedicated emoji key.
Focus. Do not disturb on.
That's right. It turns do not disturb on and off. Okay, I'm sorry. So let's review, because 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 and 12 are your standard volume keys. I think. Let me see. Yep.
Desktop.
Actually, F7 is doing nothing at all. Okay, so
Screen curtain off. Display brightness 34%.
So F1 screen brightness down, F2 screen brightness up, F3 is mission control, F4 is spotlight search. Actually, hold on, that's reversed.
Mission control. In content is empty. Audio hijack. More with the Mac recording config. Voiceover plus set. Finder. Desktop. Spotlight.
Okay.
Finder.
So
desktop,
yeah, F3.
desktop.
F3 is mission control. F4 is spotlight search. F5 is your dictation, and F6 is your do not disturb on and off. The 7, 8, 9 are for, and don't quote me on this, you might just have to play with it a little bit. 7, 8, 9 are for play, pause, and go forward, and then 10, 11, and 12 are mute, volume up and down. That's one little tidbit. Let's jump over here to messages, and as you know, I'm lazy. I have a commander for it.
Messages. OCI message.
Alright, that's a conversation with my son. What I wanted to point out here is
Toolbar.
in the toolbar, last in Big Sur, you just had a compose and conversation details. But let's go in here and see what's in here now.
Into compose. Start FaceTime.
Start FaceTime. How about that? So you can VO spacebar on this.
Menu.
And you can do
FaceTime audio.
FaceTime audio.
FaceTime video.
Video.
FaceTime video.
And then you're only 2 choices.
Start FaceTime.
So basically, it's allowing you to start a FaceTime call from someone that you're having a conversation, or a group that you're having a conversation with, without having to go to the actual FaceTime app.
Conversation details.
Then you still have your conversation details. And
search text field. Conversation.
And I'm pretty sure Matt
selected 30
mentioned it, but
iMessage.
I wanted to mention to you that you can
record audio.
Your VO command space bar. That's the same way that you would react to a message, reply to a message, activate a link. You can also push command
character
R.
palette. Character messages. Oh.
You can also push command R for reply within that conversation. You can push command T to react. Let me see. Let me make sure that one's right.
Tap heart.
Yep. You react.
Thumbs up. Selected. Thumbs up. Search text field.
There we go. I just sent a thumbs up to my son. And if I'm not mistaken, you can do command left bracket to go back a conversation.
Message iMessage. Edit text.
Let me see who this conversation is with.
Search conversation 31 conversations. Selected. Reef.
Yep. And that's with his older brother, and that was the one that was forward or before him. Let's go command right bracket. That should take us forward to conversation.
Message iMessage.
And
Edit text. Toolbar. Search conversations. Selected. OC.
Yep, and that takes you forward to conversation. And as always, you can command comma to go to your system preferences.
Preferences. General. Dialog.
We'll look at a few things in here.
General. Toolbar. Edit display image. Name. Cliff. Edit text.
So you now have the ability to share your name and photo, so you can also set that up on your Mac. And this is in the General tab.
Miller Senior. Edit text. Checked. Share name and photo. Checkbox. Share automatically. Contacts only.
So share automatically. Your choices are contacts only or ask every time. Let's go back over to the toolbar here, because there's another thing here from last year that's not here. That wasn't here last year.
iMessage.
You got iMessage, which is of course your iMessage settings.
Shared with you.
And shared with you, since you can put all, or not put all, but since iOS and Apple has done such a great job of putting things in different places where you can get to them quick, if somebody sends you a link, a picture, a video, a song, it's going to be in your shared with you section. So that's where you will go to do that.
iMessage.
Let's go to the iMessage section now.
Settings. Selected.
You got settings,
block tab,
and you got your block tab, which basically is telling you who all you have blocked, whether you did it in mail, phone, or text messaging. It'll show up here.
Apple ID. Sign out.
I can sign out here.
You can be reached for check.
Skip over all that.
Unchecked. When start new conversations from.
And then you can start your conversation. You can pick where you want your conversation sent from. You know, just the usual stuff.
Close window.
Again, this was all gone over on Monday, so I'm not going to spend too much time in here. Just remember to always go through your toolbar. Your menu bar, I should say, because when you VOM, you have messages, of course, is because that's the app I'm in.
File.
You got your file menu, your edit menu,
your
view menu,
conversations, window,
and then
conversations.
There's probably stuff in here that I already told you about.
Show details, command I.
So I guess you can get details about the conversation that you're in.
Show contact card, command option B.
Command option B will show you the contact card.
Block person ellipsis.
Block person, you would just hit enter on here, I guess. You could also set up not a shortcut, but a command here if you so chose. I'll show you how to do that somewhere down the line.
Checkmark, show and shared with you.
See, show and shared with you. You can actually uncheck this box if you don't want show and shared with you to appear.
Send email ellipsis, command option E.
You can send them an email right from here, command option E.
Send file ellipsis, command option F.
You heard the command option F.
Invite to share my screen.
This is interesting here because you can share or invite somebody to share your screen, and VoiceOver will talk on both ends. So that's quite interesting.
View.
The view menu is pretty self-explanatory.
Show tab bar. Show all tabs, command shift /. Make text bigger, command plus.
Yeah, so
conversation.
Again, we've taught you enough to where things are manageable now. So you open the app, VOM takes you to the menu bar so you can see what your options are, your file edit and view menu, which is almost always going to be there along with the app that you're in's menu. Command comma will always take you to preferences. Speaking of which,
quit messages.
Let's go over here.
Desktop.
To Finder. And it says that I'm on my desktop, but that technically is the Finder. My desktop stays empty, so that's something you'll never see.
Desktop.
See, my desktop is always empty. So let's command comma, because these are going to be the Finder system preferences. So let's hit command comma.
Preferences window. Uncheck show all file name extensions checkbox.
All right, so let me go over to the
Toolbar.
beginning. See,
sidebar. Tags.
Let's see.
Check general.
We're going to start with general.
Selected.
So,
out of toolbar.
I'll just go with the
go through palette. Finder.
Go through a few of these with you. I need to turn that emoji key off.
Show these items on the desktop.
Show these items on the desktop, which would be
Unchecked. Hard disks. Checkbox.
hard disks, which means if you have USB external drives or thumb drives, they would show here. I have mine unchecked.
Unchecked. External disks. Checkbox.
Oh, actually, there's external disks. I think no, hard drives are your like your Macintosh HD or whatever volume you have in your computer section. You get to that by Command Shift C.
Checked. CDs, DVDs, and iPods. Checkbox.
And even though I will never own any of these again, CDs, DVDs, and iPods, because I do everything digital, it's automatically checked. So if I had an external super drive connected, which is Apple's version of a disk drive, and I popped in a CD or DVD, it would automatically show on the desktop, or desktop where I'm at in the Finder. Again, I will never own any of those again because I do everything digital or save it in the cloud.
Unchecked. Connected servers. Checkbox.
Connected servers. I do have the server connected to my Mac, but of course you're not going to see it or hear it because I have this box unchecked.
New Finder Windows show.
This is interesting. New Finder window shows. Now, this is when you do Command N. Now, just a reminder, Command N anywhere except in Mail will always give you a new something. In Finder, it's going to give you a new window. In actually in Mail, it gives you a new message. In Safari, it gives you a new window. So it basically is going to give you a new window to navigate. So when you hit Command N, it's saying New Finder window shows, and I have mine set to
iCloud Drive. New Finder Windows show.
My iCloud Drive. You can have it set to your home folder. You can have it go to your computer section. You can have it go to downloads, or you can have it go to recent items. Whatever your preference is. I do everything in iCloud, so that's why mine is set there.
Checked. Open folders in tabs instead of new windows. Checkbox.
This is a setting I've never messed with, so I really can't tell you what the difference is, whether it's checked or unchecked.
Checked. Open folders in tabs instead of new windows. Checkbox.
So I'm assuming it opens it in tabs instead of new windows, which to me, as a blind person, it really makes no difference. Alright, let's jump back to this toolbar.
Toolbar. In general. Tags.
Tags. I'll touch on this a little bit, but it's really not a big deal.
How to show these tags in the sidebar.
Basically, you're selecting what tags you want to see in the sidebar, and I think they have different colors.
Show these tags in the sidebar. Add radio button. 1 of 2. Remove. Dimmed. Drag your favorite tags.
So I don't have none, so you're not going to see any.
Tags. Tags. 1 item selected. Red tag image.
I guess I have a red tag of something. Maybe I was experimenting, but I don't do this very often, so.
Favorite tags. Favorite tag.
Don't have any. So back to the toolbar.
Toolbar.
And again, I'm doing that command by VO function key or FN key, whatever you choose to call it, depending on what kind of keyboard you have. Mine is right next to my control key on the bottom row of my keyboard, and hit the left arrow. So let's interact with the toolbar. Again, remember command or VO shift down arrow to interact.
In toolbar. 4 items. Tags. Sidebar. Tags. Sidebar.
Sidebar, I'm not even going to go and select that one. Basically, the sidebar is what you want to see when you're in your Finder window and you go over to it. More times than not, you can use a keyboard combination to get to where you get to. Downloads is Command Option L. Applications is Command Shift A. Your home folder, Command Shift H. Your computer section, Command Shift C. Your iCloud Drive folder, Command Shift I. There's a couple of others. Command K to connect to a server. Command Shift K to get to your network. So essentially you don't even really need the sidebar, so I'm not going to touch on that. If you want to explore it yourself, that's fine, but you can actually go into this sidebar option and select and unselect the things that you want to show up there. I never mess with it because I never go there.
Advanced.
Now,
Advanced.
let's check out and see what's in advanced.
Advanced selected. Unchecked. Show all file name extensions. Checkbox.
I don't have that checked because I can go look, but if you're one that wants the file name to be read after every time you navigate to a file, then you might want to check that box.
Checked. Show warning before changing an extension. Checkbox.
I don't never change an extension, but it appears that this is already checked just to protect me so I don't change an extension without knowing it.
Checked. Show warning before removing from iCloud Drive. Checkbox.
That pretty much speaks for itself. Before you delete something from iCloud Drive, it's going to tell you or warn you.
Checked. Show warning before emptying the trash. Checkbox.
This is a bit misleading because there's a keystroke you can do where it won't ask you. But yes, this one is checked, so it will ask you if you wanted to empty the trash. I'm not going to give you that keystroke because I don't want you to say, I did the keystroke you gave me to empty the trash without a prompt and now I can't find files. So I'm not even going to tell you what that is. If you know what it is, that's on you.
Checked. Remove items from the trash after 30 days. Checkbox.
This, and nothing never stays in my trash more than 24 hours. But this basically says if you haven't emptied your trash in 24 hours or in 30 days, that it will empty it for you.
Keep folders on top. Checked in Windows when sorting by name. Checkbox.
This is interesting, and you'll see it when I go in my applications folder. But this basically says when you have folders, you want that on top before you have single files. So if you have folders, those will show up first. Then whatever you have in a list view or column view, whatever, then those will show. But I have mine set to always have folders on top because I like it that way.
Unchecked on desktop. Checkbox.
I don't use my desktop, so that's unchecked.
When performing the search. Search this Mac. When performing the search.
You can basically set where you want to search on this Mac, on Safari, in certain folders. Go in there and explore it.
Search this Mac.
And that is your desktop. Finder preferences. So I'm going to Command Q this. Actually, W, I'm sorry.
Desktop.
And then I'm going to go to my dock. Now, you can do VOD, or you can do, which is Command Option Control D. And for those of you who have a small keyboard, not a full-size keyboard with a numpad on the side, you know that there's no control key on the left or the right side. So the way that I do it, even though I don't use this modifier, my modifier is set to both Option and Control and the caps lock key. But you can just push the caps lock key and push the letter D. And what happens?
Finder.
I'm on my dock. And of course, the first thing on my dock is my Finder, even though I was just in my Finder on my desktop. Anyway, this is interesting because you can arrange apps on here. My dock is usually empty. I keep a few things on here. I have photos. Podcasts, which I never use.
Feedback Assistant,
because I'm a beta tester.
Separator.
And that's it, pretty much. The apps that's going to be over here is either the recycle bin or the trash. I said recycle bins. This ain't Windows. It's going to be the trash or apps that I've recently opened. So
Audio Hijack.
Audio Hijack is all there because it's currently recording the session.
VLC
because I was using that a little bit before I came in here. VLC will play anything. I don't care what it is. MKV, AVI, MP3, MP4, WAV, whatever. It's going to play it all.
Separator. Downloads.
And there's my downloads folder, which I don't open up.
Trash.
And my trash. Now,
Finder.
if I can remember.
Finder. Photos. Podcasts. Move to the left of photos.
Alright, to move apps around, you hold down the Option key in the direction you want to go.
Pod menu. Options. Finder. Desktop.
I just accidentally got off my desktop or my dock, so let's go back. So,
Finder.
I have
Podcast.
Podcast is to the left of my photos. If I want to move it back to the right of my photos, I hold down the Option key and hit the right arrow.
Podcast. Move to the right of photos.
All right. Just giving you a little quick tip here on how to rearrange your dock if you so choose.
Photos. Podcast.
Now, since podcast is something that I don't use very often, I'm going to remove it from my dock. And to remove something from your dock, VO Shift M.
Menu.
It gives you the context menu, VO or just arrow down.
Options,
and that's what you want. So you want a right arrow.
Options. Remove from dock.
Remove from dock is the first option. I'm not going to do it yet, but let's see what else is in here.
Open at login.
We can have it open at login.
Show in Finder.
And that's the last option. So let's go.
Open. Remove from dock.
Let's hit remove from dock, and you'll hear a little sound.
Finder. Desktop.
And now it's gone. But since I showed you how to remove something from the dock, let me show you how to put something on the dock.
Application name list view in list view.
Now I use list view. I think I've gone over this before. You can have 4 different views. You can have
As icons checked.
you can
Icon view one item.
have icons, not very voiceover friendly.
As list checked.
My
List view.
favorite.
Meter application. List one item selected. Meter application as columns. Quick nav off.
As columns
Quick
or
as gallery checked.
as gallery. Columns I heard is pretty accessible. I like my stuff in the list view. But gallery, again, just like icon view, not very voiceover friendly. So let me put myself back in the list view.
As list checked. List view. Date modified. Size. Kind. List view.
So I have to interact with the list view. If you don't have quick nav on, it is VO shift down arrow. If you do have quick nav on, down arrow and right will interact.
In list view. Meter one application. Messages application. Mission control application. Music application. News application.
Alright, I don't read news very often, but let's say I wanted to put on the dock. I'm going to hit Command, Control, Shift in the letter T, and it will say,
Add to dock.
how about that? Command, Command, Control, Shift in the letter T will add it to your dock.
Night note numbers application.
And let's do another one.
Messages. Honey.
Command, Control, Shift will.
Add to dock.
Alright, we added it to the dock. So,
Close window. Desktop. Audio hijack. Audio hijack. Resume recording. Finder.
alright, so, again, I showed you how to add stuff to the dock, and I'll
Finder.
go over how to remove it from the dock again.
Photos. Feedback is separator. Audio hide. VLC. Message. News.
Alright, I don't really want the news here, so let's VO shift M.
Menu.
Go down to options.
Options. Remove from dock.
Right arrow, and
Finder.
it's gone.
Desktop.
Now again, I'll go over them again. Command Shift H will take you to your home folder.
Home. Cliff Miller. Window.
Command Option L will take you to your downloads.
Downloads. List view.
Command Shift O will take you to your documents.
Documents. List view.
Command Shift I will take you to your iCloud Drive.
iCloud Drive. List.
Command Shift C will take you to your computer or network section.
Computer. List view.
He calls it computer, so computer section. So that's Command Shift C. Command K will take you to.
Connect to server.
Will connect to server.
Close window. Click.
Command Shift K will
Network. List.
take you to your network, so you can see everything
Messages.
that you can see on your network. So those are just some quick hit tips that I wanted to go over with you. And if navigating folders and some other things are an issue for you, then we'll work on it. But that is it for today. All right. I guess it's time for some questions. All right, if my co-host wants to tell people how to raise their hand since I got it wrong last week, then we can get started.
But I have a question because my keyboard does launch the launch pad with F4. I just tried it just in case I was wrong, but it does.
That's
If
weird,
I have not,
You have
if
an
I have,
M1, the 2000, the 26, or the newest model of the 16-inch, right?
yes.
I have a friend who just got one, so I'm gonna try it on there, and I don't know. You can actually disable that. I'll go over that with you another time, so we don't take up too much time. But yeah, it's weird. Maybe it's different on different models, I guess. But I know for sure
Must
that
be.
on mine,
I tried it on both my keyboards, the one that come out, the ones that's on the Mac and my external keyboard, and both of them do it. So I'm
okay.
not
And you
sure.
might, and if you want to, you could also go into system preferences, keyboards,
Yeah,
and
I
uncheck
know. And I
that
did
box off.
uncheck that. I mean,
Okay.
it only works if it's unchecked. It does
Okay.
not work if,
When it is checked, okay.
yes.
What is the command to go, like you're in a document or something and you want to go to the top?
And Dr. V. Srinivasa Kumar has joined the meeting.
Command up arrow.
Okay.
But make sure quick nav is off.
Quick nav, okay, has to be off. Okay. I'm taking notes here. Okay. And then in email, like if I want to find a certain email that somebody wrote, on the phone, I know how to go into the search field and I can type in the person's name and then go in and it'll bring up all the emails that are from that person.
You can do the same thing on the Mac, just I think it's Command Shift F if I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, you can go into the toolbar and there's a search field there.
Shift F. Okay. Okay. All right. Those are my questions.
And while we have a minute, I'm just going to remind everybody who's in the notes folder. I did add 2 notes to that folder. One, somebody sent me a list of the Zoom commands, which I actually already had, but they sent the necessary ones for participants. So that's in that folder. And I also put a document in there with links to 2 Mac apps. If it's you look, if you're taking my class and you're still using Windows, then there's nothing I can do for you. But it's basically, everybody's always asked me how to download the audio from YouTube, and I don't do it because I have no need to, but I know a few people, one of them being my co-host, who uses a program that actually does that. So that note is also in the shared notes folder. I forgot what they're called. One's what's it, MP3 to audio to MP3 or something like that?
Audio to MP3 converter.
Converter. Okay, that's one of them. The other one starts with a P. I can't remember. I got it a couple of months ago, but they're both voiceover accessible. The direct link is in that note, so I would have copied the note to wherever you want to, and click that link or copy the link if you know how. I guess I just give the directions. Put your cursor on the very first letter of the link, hold down the shift key, and hit the down arrow until the link is selected. Then you're going to push Command C. If you're comfortable with it, open up Safari, open a new a new address bar, which is Command L. Paste that link in there with Command V, hit enter, and it should take you to the page. Beyond that, you're going to have to poke around if you don't know how and find the download button or link and get to start working. Because, I mean, I'm going to tell you, in learning the Mac, everything is contingent on how much you're willing to work at it. I can only teach you so much. I can give you the directions, I can give you the basics, but you can't be scared to go out on a limb, jump off that diving board into the deep end and be scared you're going to mess something up. Because I guarantee you, you can't mess nothing up that can't be fixed, number one. Number two, if you get lost, just Command Q and start over. So you're going to have to, do a little bit on your own. Because I can give you the basics, but I can't do it all for you.
Well, I'm struggling with when I open the mail, a particular piece of mail to read it, and if it has an attachment link in there, I'm struggling as to how to get to that attachment.
Now,
so I guess I'll wait until the class. But
now, is it an attachment or is it an actual link? Because there's a difference. There could be a link that you have to click on that's going to take you to a website or to download something, or there actually might be something like what I sent to you, which actually is an attachment.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it a link or is it an actual attachment that somebody sent to you?
I think I'm struggling with both of them, but I think it's an attachment that I'm having difficulty actually getting to the attachment.
Okay, so I'll give you the I'll give you the I'm not gonna say shortcut. I'll give you the way that it's been done. I have a hotkey set up for mine because everybody knows that I'm lazy. But if you VOM and go over to the file menu and then go down until you hear save attachment, you can VO spacebar on that. It's going to bring up a dialog, and ultimately, if you have not changed anything, it's going to go to your downloads folder. So I would just VO right until I hear save attachment, and you VO spacebar on that, and then it will go to your downloads folder. If by some chance you might have changed it, you can go a little slower, and it'll tell you what kind of a file it is, where it's going to save it at, and what the name of it is, and then you can go. Because sometimes I change mine by accident, and it goes to my movies or my pictures folder, and I gotta go hunting for it. But ultimately, if you have not changed anything, it should go directly to your downloads folder. And you can go to that by going to the Finder and hitting Command Option L. That's your downloads folder.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll try it out.
And the last thing, because you asked about links too, the links is an easy one. If you do, I gotta look. Okay, yeah, VO Command L. If there's a link in there, it'll take you straight to it, and then you just push VO spacebar, and it'll take you to that web page or whatever it is.
Okay. VO Command L.
Question: you have referenced a couple times that we should be able to copy the notes, one of the files, for example, and put it wherever we want.
Right.
And I am failing. I keep hearing VoiceOver say view only, and I go and I'm able to select all the files, and but I'm not able to copy them anywhere. And I'm just wondering, is there a command I'm missing?
No, you're not. You're just you're trying to simplify like I would if I didn't know what I was doing.
But yeah, I like simple.
Unfortunately, you're going to have to copy them one at a time. So what you'll do is you'll interact with the table, VO spacebar on the note that you want to copy, then go over to the text and then select the text, Command A.
Oh, select all the text. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
and then
you.
Command C and then copy it and paste it wherever you want it. But yeah, you can't. Yeah, I wish it was that easy that you could select all the notes. But no, you got to do it one at a time.
Okay. Well, it's certainly.
That's why I didn't put a whole lot in there at once, because I didn't want to overwhelm people and think they're going to miss something. And just so you know, because somebody emailed me and asked me this question, so I'm going to tell you and everybody else, them notes and the notes folder and me sharing it will stay there as long as that information is relevant. So in 5 years, if Apple hasn't changed some of the procedures on how that stuff is done in there, those notes will still be there. I'm not going to take them away. So
well, that's good to know. Okay, so I go into it and select the text as if I were in a document. Okay, thank you, Cliff. Thanks.
No problem. And I want to tell them, I'm sorry not to cut you off, but I'll tell everybody here that it's not a bad thing to send questions between class, because it actually helps me out to let me know where people are at and what I need to go over. But if I don't hear from you, then I'm just going to have to play the guessing game, and then you might not get something touched on or taught that you wanted to hear. So send the questions. We want to know. All right, go ahead.
No, I for some reason I don't know how I missed it, but I can't seem to find my note that explains how to get added to the notes folder. So could you please share that again?
You just send an email to support@ttjtech.net and say you want access to the notes. Give me, or in that email, make sure you give me your Apple ID, because if it's not an app, if it's not connected to iCloud, then the notes aren't gonna show up. So whatever you use for your Apple ID email address, whether it's a Gmail, iCloud, Yahoo, whatever, just send that or put that in the email. I'll add you to the folder, and you'll get an email saying click this button to add this to your notes.
I can't figure out whether I like list view or column view better, but
column view is more of a grid, if you know what that is. Like you know what an Excel spreadsheet looks like.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what column view is. And list view puts it what it says. It's in a long list, and I can't speak to this because I don't use it. I guess maybe I'll try this weekend, even though I hate it. But,
John Panery uses it. He likes it. He likes column, and he teaches column, and you teach
and I don't know if you can use first letter navigation in column view. Do you know?
Yeah, you can. There's some weird little tricks though. Like if you want to put something in a folder, you better either be pointing at that folder or pointing at a file. Because if you're inside of a folder, I know that is the thing I don't like about column view. But
some
anyway,
people love it. Some people claim that it is a lot faster in column view. That VoiceOver is more responsive. I don't see no difference personally, but it's all about preference. So
they both work, but I'll tell you what doesn't seem to work, and that's to have some folders in list and some in column, because weird stuff starts to happen with VoiceOver and it starts reading weird stuff.
So when you're in column view and you open up a folder, are those also in columns, or does those go into a list like the files that are inside of a folder?
Well, it opens, I don't really know physically where they are, but it opens out. But you have to actually open it, and then you can't just get, when you get down to the bottom of it, it doesn't move you back to your other list of files. And that's one of those things. It could be what you like about it, but it could also be what you don't like.
Right.
To me, it seems like in list view, you can see what the level is because it tells you what
Right,
level it
because when you
is.
open the folder, you're in the folder. You're not in the list no more. And that's the thing about column view. I think when you expand a folder, that the other columns that are not in the folder are still surrounding, and that's what might confuse people.
But what John thought was that, and he's been teaching them a long time too, is that sometimes people, even though it says it, sometimes new people still get all confused about what level stuff is on if they can see it all.
Mm-hmm.
And, but what the other thing I was wondering is besides how confusing it is to decide, because it's kind of like I wish I had a combination of list and column because I like features of both of them and dislike
What you
features of
could
both of
do,
them.
like, I mean, I have different views because I use list view no matter what, but there are some folders where I like my folders at the top, and there's some folders I like them mixed in. So I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know if it's possible that you could have column view in one folder and list view in another. I don't know
I
that because I
think
don't use
that
them.
you can, but sometimes you get weird voiceover behavior when
Yeah,
that happens.
I'll take list view any day of the week. Call
But
me old
it's,
fashioned.
and then when you add, what do you call it? Quick nav onto the whole thing, you get
Currently
another
unmuted.
whole.
That's the easy part though, because with quick nav on, you just command down arrow to open the folder, command up arrow to close it, and you only need the down arrow, right arrow to interact, and the down arrow and left arrow to stop interacting.
The default speaker has.
Do you have to open the table? Do you still have to navigate the table
You have
and
to
interact with the table?
You have to interact with the table, yes.
Okay, that's one of the things I was
With quick
confused
nav
about.
on. Some people think that you can use what's that the tab key, but the tab key is really not reliable.
How to answer the calls on the Mac? I am getting calls on Mac also.
Do you want them
How
or
to
you
answer
don't
phone
want them?
calls?
Yeah, that's called. I want to get the word right. Continuity. That basically means that if your Mac and your phone and your iPad are all signed into the same Apple ID, which they should be, that if you get a phone, like if John calls me on my Mac and I want to leave my desk, I can pick up my phone and hand off that call to my phone so I can walk out of my office. Now, if you don't want calls on your Mac, you can just go into FaceTime and hit Command K, and that will disable it.
When I get a call on my Mac, I would like to answer on my Mac. How to answer the call on the Mac? Is there any gesture like magic tap, etc.?
No, it's kind of tricky. So basically, when your FaceTime rings or you start getting a call on your Mac, you gotta be quick. And this took a lot of practice, and I actually just accomplished this week. But basically, you have to command tab away from it. Then you got to come back to it. Then you have to interact with it, and there will be the answer and decline buttons. But like I said, you got to have some quick fingers. If you're doing something, if you're in the middle of writing a message or an email, I guarantee you, if you don't stop, if you try to finish up what you're doing and then go do it, you're going to miss that call. You have to literally stop what you're doing, command tab away from the FaceTime window, come back to it, interact, and then the answer and decline button will be there.
Question that I have is on creating shortcuts to my desktop if I wanted to, even though Cliff, now you just kind of talking me out of even having something on my desktop. but if I wanted to easily, quickly add something to my desktop, what's the quickest way to do it? Control Shift M, Control Option Shift M, and then down arrow to something.
I've actually never added nothing to my desktop. I do it to my dock. Let me see. That's probably the procedure. Let's see.
Oh,
I think the way that it's done.
I like that moving around.
Because I didn't see it in my VO Shift M context menu. But I think what you do is you create an alias, and once you hit that alias, you copy that alias to your desktop. I think that's the way that everybody does.
That's what I did. That's what I did. But I can't get rid of that alias and it's from the title. just says alias, and that's kind of annoying. But
So can't you hit enter and just rename it?
Is that the I did, but the alias word doesn't show up in that edit box.
Oh, then it might just be a tag that you can't get rid of. Then it might be letting you
Yeah,
know
that's what
that
it
it is
seems
the
like.
alias and not the original. That's probably what it is.
Okay, well, I guess that's their word for shortcut.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is the alias. Okay.
But why?
Also,
I got a
real
question for
quick,
you. Why the desktop and not just use the dock? I mean, because it essentially does the same thing.
I am gonna probably just start using a doc, especially since you just showed me a cool way to just quickly organize my doc, put my priorities right up front, which is probably what I'm gonna be doing, and I'll get rid of that alias thing because I don't like it. Anyway, another real quick one so I can give other people time if they want. If you have hands raised. My voiceover does not come on with the logon screen when I turn on my Mac. Is that in the voiceover preferences? I couldn't find it.
No, it's in your regular system preferences under users and groups. Go down to login items and go under accessibility. Once you go into there, there's a checkbox for voiceover, and this is actually one of the few instances on the Mac where you actually gotta save it. So once you hit the checkbox, VO right over to save, and once you do that, from now on, whenever you turn on your Mac, voiceover will come on with the logon screen. I'm gonna attempt to share my screen.
In dim system dialog content is
Can you hear voiceover?
mute.
Yep.
Audio submenu.
All right, good deal. All right,
That's
let me slow voiceover down because I know some people gonna say it's too fast. All right, to slow, I'm gonna do it the other way. So this is a keystroke I haven't showed you guys yet. It's voiceover and the letter V as in Victor.
typing echo menu 4 items.
Now that's where I would change my voiceover output to words, characters, or both, which I don't want to do.
Text attributes. Do nothing.
Yeah, text attributes, I don't want to hear nothing when voiceover finds some text because I already know what it's going to do.
Numbers. Words. Text numbers. Words.
Numbers, I want to be read in words.
Capitals. Change pitch.
When it's a capital letter, it changes pitch.
When status changes. Play tone.
When I guess, what does it say?
When status changes. Play tone.
When status changes, it's going to play a tone. I don't know what that means because I don't ever hear a tone. So
Speech verbosity level. Low.
my speech verbosity level. Now this is interesting because it's low, but I have some custom ones that I have set, and I'll show you that next week in class, Monday's recorded class, because I'm going to go through voiceover utilities category by category. But I have some that I have higher because they're more priority.
Punctuation. None.
I don't have any punctuation because I don't want to hear voiceover say comma, period, slash, dash, colon, and all that. So I have mine set to none.
Typing echo. Words.
Now we're back to where we started with echo typing is words. And again, this keystroke to get into these attributes is voiceover keys, whatever your modifier of choice is, whether it's the caps lock key or control and option, and then the letter V, and it will bring you in here. And to close this, you hit the letter, or you hit escape.
Stop adjusting typing echo.
Now, if I want to slow down my speed on the fly, I want to push voiceover keys, command, and the shift key. And then I'm going to hit the left arrow to find the category that I want. And why aren't you
Closing.
working?
Desktop. Voice. Alex. English.
There we go. Voice.
Braille table. English. Unified.
Braille
System.
table.
Intonation 40%.
I don't even know what intonation means.
Volume 45%.
Volume's at 45%. Come on, give me the next one.
Rate 60%.
All right, there's my rate. If I want to slow it down so y'all can understand.
30, 20. Closing. Rate menu. Desktop.
So now it's at, I don't even know. I think I picked 15%. Let me go back in here and change this.
Rate 20%.
20%.
45%. 55%. 60%.
All right, now we're back to normal. I'm not getting very many questions between classes. If there's something that you want to ask before or after the session, send it to support@ttjtech.net, and I can either address it in the email if it's a short one, or I'll do a demo of it or address it in the next interactive session.
I'll send you an email because there's one I'd like you to do a presentation on. So I'll send it.
Okay, great. And that's what I want. That's why I call this interactive, because I want feedback from all of you students to know where you're at and what you want to learn. So, I mean, if you don't give me no content, we're not going to have no interactive session.
In meandering around, a lot of times we get into a situation where the end of a dialogue box comes up, and you don't know what you're trying to answer. It'll say cancer or cancel or quit or yes or no. And is there any way to read a dialog box that's buried or whatever?
VO and the letter Z will give you the last spoken phrase.
Yeah, but what if it wasn't spoken?
Then I really don't know. I mean, you might want to VO back to whatever the dialogue was, or close it out and try to go back to it. But other than that, there's really, I mean, if VoiceOver is not giving you the hints or you have the hints turned off, then I mean, and you could also try to read the hint tag, which is, it's not that. VO Shift H is the help tag.
Okay.
So if you're in a program and there's a pop-up, it may read it that way also.
Okay. Thanks.
And also VO Shift N is the I don't know what this one is called, but let me see. Yep, it reads VO Shift N and will read the voiceover hint. Yep, and VO Shift H is the help tag. So VO Shift N is the VO hint, and VO Shift H is the help tag. So just a little tidbits, and just so you know, I cheated and turned on keyboard help so I could figure out what it was, because I can't remember it all.
I keep getting this application. My computer will be sitting there playing music, and I'm not interacting with it at all. And after 15 or 20 minutes, I get this application. That's all it says.
That's when you want to do VO F2 twice. And
okay.
It will no, that's not it. I'm sorry. Maybe it's the other one. Oh, okay. So VO, do you have your buttons checked or unchecked?
Unchecked.
Okay, so you're gonna do VO FN and then VO. You have that extended keyboard, don't you? Where's your function?
Yeah, and
key
I
at?
have an FN. I have
Okay, so yeah, do VO FN and F1 twice. That's like your app switcher on the Mac versus the phone. Yeah, so you'll just arrow down and close out or get rid of whatever that dialogue is. Because I know you hear this little ding in the background, don't you? That keeps going off like every 30 seconds.
No, it's if I don't do anything like push any keys or do anything, not every 30 seconds, it's every 15 minutes.
It might be your computer going to sleep or getting ready to lock.
Because I thought I turned all that off, but I could have missed something. You had a lot to turn off when I was trying to turn off. I don't want things going to sleep.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but you actually do have the Pro. So are you still turning your computer off, or are you just closing the lid? Because remember, I told you closing the lid is just like turning it off.
I usually turn it off, but now I'm good. I want my contacts, so.
Well, I mean, that's an easy one. I mean, all you got to do is go into System Preferences, go into Internet Accounts, go under the account that has your contacts in it. Now, please tell me you're using iCloud, not Gmail.
No, I'm not using Gmail.
Okay, so whatever your Apple ID is, you have to go there and make sure that on your Mac, your contacts is checked, because otherwise it's not going to know that you want your contacts to show up on your Mac.
Right. Well,
it's something that should be done by it should be done by default.
Contacts that are going from the other computer to the Mac.
Oh.
Yeah. And I don't know how to.
What are you using over there? Outlook?
Yeah.
The one
I
way
thought I could do the .cs or
export them. You should be able to, because if you email that attachment to yourself and double tap on it on the phone in that attachment, it should ask you if you want to import those contacts.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
And if that doesn't work, I hate to recommend this because it's going to be the fastest way of doing it rather than doing them one at a time. You will just have to sign into your Outlook account on your phone, check the contacts, and then when you remove it, tell it to keep those contacts on your phone. That way it'll sync up with iCloud. But you
Okay.
shouldn't have to do that. If you email that .csv file to yourself
CSV.
and double tap on it in the Mail app on your phone or iPad, it
Right.
should import them into your contacts.
Okay, I'll do
And
that. That sounds easy.
and Apple is usually smart enough to skip duplicates. So if you have the same contacts in your phone or iPad that you do in that other platform, it should just skip them or merge them if it has different information. All right. We'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Remember, Monday's YouTube recording will be up at 1 Central, 2 Eastern, 12 Mountain, 11 Pacific in another country. Ask Siri. And More with the Mac Interactive is now moving to Wednesday afternoons at 2 Eastern, 1 Central, 12 Mountain, and 11 Pacific. If you can't make it, then send your questions in before or after. And remember, it will be recorded. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining More with the Mac Interactive. If you didn't get your questions answered or you have another concern, email support@ttjtech.net. I'm Trainer Cliff. Thanks for joining us.